Now, I think what we need to do is actually, for the first time in a long time, take a step back and start looking at it this way, okay? When you look at it this way, you realize it is not impossible for us to go Bitcoin 30,000 again, when you look at it this way. And why do I say that? Well, the first time we looked at this, we said, okay, this was a steep overreaction move here from Elon's tweet and another thing or two. And at the very end, we ended up with this massive rejection wick candle, which showed that we did down here and it forced us back up. I did also say at the same time that because the move was so steep, that there would probably be some kind of correction, and then we'd start trading sideways in here and get out. That's pretty normal. Usually with any kind of overreaction, there's then a counter reaction and then like another reaction just as it starts to level out. I always use the illustration of like when you drop a basketball out of like a 10-story building or something. You expect for it to hit the ground, bounce up to a point, depending on how far you drop the ball down from will determine how high the ball then rebounds when it hits the ground. And so in this case, we saw a really high bounce up, but then you'll also see some more bouncing action as it levels out, and then it will usually move up. You don't usually just see all the way down into oblivion and then straight back up. It's not quite normal. So this here was expected, but then I expected some leveling out here. Unfortunately for Bitcoin, we are not seeing the kind of leveling out that you would expect. Instead, this rejection wick turned into leveling out, but then now it's starting to like fail again with heavy selling pressure pushing it back down towards the initial floor. So now I'm thinking of it as like a deflated basketball. We're not doing all the bouncing you would expect, and we're actually looks like we're headed back into this area right here. If you look at it, if you take a look at it from that perspective, it looks like we're heading into this area right here. Look at this massive red candle, because if you look at the recovery was very weak, okay? We got this small rejection candle, then this big red candle, then this small doji right here in the middle, and followed by this big red candle. This is on the daily time frame, by the way. But even if we move up to the 4-hour, you can kind of see the weakness in the moves here. And now we're making a lower low compared to here. And if you actually look at it from not just this wick, but this one, you can see a slight trend line that's been formed by the lows. And we're even falling through that right now, which is another very bearish sign, okay? So overall, what I'm saying is things are not looking good. Let's just do that to be conservative. Things are not looking good for Bitcoin, which means things are looking good for Dogecoin if you're looking for a dip to buy. Now, if you're already in and you were hoping today be the day that it goes up, this is not your day. So far, this is not your day. All right, but the reason I say now we can take a step back and look at it like this is because we have already proved at this point in time that the immediate price action is irrelevant, right? Because we were expecting one or two corrective bounces, but then to start making higher highs and getting out. Now that we've made a higher lows. Now that we've made a lower low, it just shows us that we are not done going down. And we could come, now that we've passed this secondary low, we could be going back to the first low here. Now, keep an eye on this line right here. This is a strong reversal point right around 32,000. So we could see a bounce here. If not, we are probably going down to 30,000 or less. We might make new record lows when you're considering the last week. We might make that today. Under 23,000, no, I can't see that. I don't think Bitcoin goes under 25,000, even if it goes into 20s. I don't think Bitcoin goes that low. That would be insane. But then again, if we go into, it's kind of anyone's guess though, because if we go into 30,000s, like into 20s, all the people that were trying to kind of diamond hand through this are probably going to start to panic. Like, what in the world is happening? At that point, keep in mind, we were at 60,000. If we go into the 20s, that's cutting Bitcoin in more than half. Almost getting near cutting it into a third. So people are really going to start to panic that have hundreds of thousands of dollars in here. They might panic sell. The ones that own Bitcoin are not necessarily smarter people just because they have more money. Some of them technically didn't even have more money. They just got fortunate and bought in early. And so when Bitcoin was like the price of a Dogecoin, they loaded up. And now they're like millionaires or whatnot. But that doesn't really mean anything as far as their trading decisions are concerned. So we are looking to see a little bit about it. But now, anyway, just to not make this too long. At this point, since we're approaching making newish lows, you want to take a look at your previous support level and resistance level strength. So you can guess which level it's most likely going to stop at, okay? The stronger the level, the higher the chance that it gets respected again. That's kind of the easiest way to look at it. So if you go back to the previous time that we were in here, which was January, you want to take a look and find the strongest levels that you can find. And obviously the lower, also probably the more likely that we bounce off of those as well, because the lower the price goes, it kind of gets overextended into the downward direction. But let's just delete all of these and take a fresh look at what we have here. Let's do a revaluation. So the first thing you see here, if you're me, a touch here, a little bit of consolidation here, a little bit of consolidation here as we moved up and it tested this with rejection wicks and bounced up. Rejection wick, rejections. Here it showed as resistance, resistance again when it pulled back, support, resistance, support. Okay, so this 34,000 line was really, really strong. Now let's just see, are we already past the 34,000 line? Yes. Okay, so that line no longer matters. What's the next major level I can see? Well, honestly, I don't really see a major level until here, because I see wick here, here, some action here, and then it trying to get down there here. What level is this? 30,000. So if you look at it that way, in my head, at this point, we're heading to 30,000, because in between the 34 mark, where we made this line, and here, there's not really a super strong level that's clearly defined. Now, you can say this line right here, where we had some messing around, but you can see how sloppy that line is. Like here it was high, here it was high, here it was low. So the chance that we respect that line, in my opinion, is also kind of low, because the level wasn't even weak to begin with in the past. But we will chart it just because we're getting close to it, and that's the next obvious stop. Okay, 32,000 flat. So we'll do a yellow line here and a purple line here, because if we can get a dip buy near here, if it starts to slow down, that's already us buying at the highest likely point for a reversal. If we fall through that, now we have a whole nother can of worms that has been opened, because as you can see, there was not much recent price action to go off of for anything under 30,000. We don't have a playbook for that from any price action recent. So you really have to take a step out and see, well, when was the last time we were in this area? And as you can see, there was really no major price action in this particular area, except for the run up initially. That is a little bit scary, because the next clear stop is 15,000. Now I don't see us, or I'm sorry, 20,000. So we will mark that on the chart here, but that is absolutely terrifying. That would probably put Doge somewhere in the 15-cent range, if you consider the fact that this put us at 19 cents last time. So that's a little scary. And I don't want to see Dogecoin get that low, but obviously, if I can buy that dip, I'm going to snatch that thing up. All right, guys, we have like 2 minutes left, so let's make this evaluation pretty good. All right, and then the next obvious point would maybe be a potential catch at 29,000, because you can see before that was the absolute lowest, and recently it was the absolute lowest. So I will conservatively, actually, what I'll do instead, I will just make this kind of a rectangle right here, like an area of value potential dip. But again, just evaluating the run up to see if we can catch any level here that we could respect potentially if we break below 30,000. Let's see. Take us back. Okay. So here we go. Whoa. What did it just do? It went way too far. Okay. So we've got a level here right around 28. Okay, you can see the touch here on the resistance side, a little bit of consolidation like support, some support here, and then another rejection wick here. So 28,000 is a likely reversal spot if we break down as well. So keep your eye on that. By the way, when you're trying to find a Dogecoin dip, you should be looking at Bitcoin's charts, knowing that Bitcoin is pulling all the other cryptocurrencies in its direction. Okay, so when you see a reversal on Bitcoin, that is your reversal signal on Doge. Do not just look at the Doge chart. You will be confused as we start ignoring levels that you would expect to hold. So 28,000 key level. You start to see some messing around right here. I don't know if that really counts, okay? But I would say the next obvious one is this one here with all of this messing around. It looked like it took some time to break through that. So that's about 24,000. All right. And I think this is pretty safe to, this is a pretty weak level right here. It'd be a kind of random spot to turn around. 26,000. Wouldn't be surprised, but let's just keep these levels charted. So what do we have here? We have 32,000, 29,000, and 28,000. Then it's kind of a free fall down. Who knows what happens around 25, 26? There's nothing strong here. And then it's 23 and 20. All right. So 32, 29, 28, 24, 20. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So if you're not going to remember that, I encourage you to write it down. I think I'm going to turn this into a YouTube video and just also upload it, since it was relatively short, and hopefully everybody else will be able to take something from it, if that sounds good, guys. You're already stress-free. Could you see Bitcoin under 23 mark? Maybe. If it makes it down that low, it's going to be hard to get under that 24,000 resistance, but if it does, it could be down to 20,000. But I don't know if we see that today, just because that's a little extreme of a sell-off. I'd expect the most a bounce right around this 32,000 mark, depending on how these next couple candles form out, and if they decide to respect it or not. If not, we could be seeing around 30,000, and let's just hope it doesn't fail that, because then we could be going down. So brace, 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 boys. The rocket is no longer ascending, and let's prepare for the crash landing that is incoming. You're already stress-free. Thank you. You feel better already? Great. I'm really glad to hear that, guys. But yeah, that's all I've got. Hopefully that helps everybody out, whether you're in the stream here or you're catching this in the YouTube video that will be uploaded next. Again, key levels to keep an eye on immediately. 32,000, high chance of reversal. But if it does not, you can look 30,000, 28,000, 24,000. And obviously under that's about 20,000 is the level. 29, 28, 24 if 32 does not hold. Now, what you can do if you want to properly time a dip buy here is keep a close eye on the price action in these areas. And if it looks like you're getting a reversal somewhere near it, you can buy that up with low risk because you're at a high reversal point area, a high chance of reversal area. All right. So even right now, if this candle started to slow up at the 32,000 mark, which is where this is supposed to be, if it started to slow up here and then reverse, if on that sign of reversal, if it looked a little strong, you could buy into it and then just be ready to sell if it goes against you. And if it does not, you just bought the absolute bottom of the dip. Now this does look weak, so I think we're free falling straight down to the 30 and 29,000 mark right here, this 30,000 level. But we'll see. Just keep a close eye on it. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. Once this video goes live on YouTube, please feel free to like it so that other people will find it. And because it is urgent, as we're falling through 32,000 right now, it looks like we're headed to 30. So hopefully everybody will be ready to trade properly. And most importantly, hopefully everybody will be fully prepared